Hello fellow colorists, welcome back to the channel jicolourist. My name is Jody and we are continuing on in our festive coloring book. It is a 24-day advent window coloring book and we are on our way to complete the left hand side of each page. It's a double page spread each day and we are on week 10, and week 10 is the book cafe. And here is the page blank, as in I haven't done anything on it, obviously. And this is the inside. So this is the right hand side of the page. The book cafe is open. It obviously serves hot drinks and snacks as well. So there's a ton of books in here. And thank goodness we're not doing this page today. We are focusing on this page, and there are enough books in the windows already, but I do want to make it look cozy. There is also a ton of details, so I'll bring you up to see that. And we've seen this kind of motif detail before, and so I'll just quickly show you. Back on day 1 we had this detail, so a lot of individual little items on there, and I did them individually. And then on it was day 6, we had again that similar kind of thing, but instead I improvised and made them into fuller, fluffier garlands, and just picked out a couple of the items, a couple of the leaves and a couple of the berries to highlight. So it became a very different effect. So I'm kind of torn between those two approaches on this. I may do kind of a little bit of both. There are a few more. It's quite busy here. So we will get the background down. I'll go off, do that on my own, and then we'll come back to tackle some of these things. And today we might focus on doing some lighting in the windows to make them look a little bit more cozy, since we do have actual lights showing in 2 of the windows. The light fixture is actually there, so we should be able to do a little bit of playing with light in today's video. All right, that's the plan. Grab a snack. Our videos are about a half hour to 45 minutes long. I've been trying to keep it to that so that everybody has a chance to get a bit of coloring done in their own books and also not take up your whole evening or day. All right, let me get started and I'll see you shortly. Okay, I'm bringing you back a little later than I thought, and I have only accomplished so much. So I just wanted to show you, I'm not picking a color palette this time. I'm kind of winging it because I just kind of felt like a bookstore would be nice with some burgundy colors. And I have a new set of 10 Neo Color 1 metallics, and I used that as this area here. And I am doing the Coloring Chemist, Connie's YouTube channel. She showed us how she used these with a heavy pressure and then buffed them, and so that's what I did, and it took a lot more pressure and layers than I thought it would, but I'm going to stop there. The wording, I have done just a first coat with the Pitt Artist Pen Magenta for that, just so I could kind of get some color down. The rest of the page I thought I would use the Mega Color Brilliance, which is the metallic ones, and they have one called Electric Ruby, which I started on and then I erased because I quickly realized that it was going to take me absolutely forever to get this done, and it would be really hard to go around all of these. So I've decided to bring out my pan pastels again because I have the color magenta shade, and then I also have the white fine pearl medium, and so what I'm going to do is mix these two together to get a lighter burgundy shade than this. So I just thought I'd bring you back and show you how I plan on accomplishing that. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Media Mat, which has a little bit of grip on it just to keep the pan pastels on the mat and not flying everywhere. I'm going to pick some up with the soft tool. And then I'm also going to pick up some white. And it's okay if you get them on the top, because you can just brush it off afterwards. So I'm going to pick up some white. I'm going to mix the two together. And so it'll be mixed on the tool. I want to add more white. And then I'm going to take and I am going to apply it directly onto the paper. Then I'll still be able to see what is on my the illustrations underneath. So I'm going to apply it directly to my paper. Then I will clean things up as I need to, and then I will go outside and give it a quick spray, and then I'll be back. But I just thought I'd show you that this is what I'm going to do, and this is the approach I'm going to take. And I think that that color will go well with the banner that I did. Okay, now hopefully I will see you shortly. All right, here it is after one coat of pan pastel. What I'm going to do now is, I still have a little bit on my pad here. I'm just going to go and touch up any light areas. I'm also cleaning up as I go and using a eraser. Once the eraser gets dirty, make sure that you rub it off on a separate piece of paper, because otherwise you're just rubbing more pastel onto your page. So that I also use a little fan brush. I'm not sure where I got this, probably some dollar store or something like that, but I do use it to sweep away both the eraser dust and any loose pastel dust that may be on the page. And that's because I don't want to smear it with my hand, and this is a lot lighter. Your hands have oil on them, whether you're an oily skinned person or not, doesn't matter, and stuff will just stick to it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just gonna pick up any light spots and make sure everything looks as neat as I want it to. Then I'm going to take this outside to spray. Luckily it's not a windy day today, and I can spray it outside. Then I will leave it outside for about a half an hour just while the page dries, and then I will be back and we will get going. The nice thing about pastels is that once it's sealed, I'll be sealing it with a workable fixative. I can then come in with both pencil and pigment pens and watercolors, pretty much any medium on top of it, and it doesn't hurt the nibs, and it's quite good. So it works quite well. Okay, so that's where we are. This has turned out to be a little bit more pink than the burgundy I was looking for, but that's okay because I can come in with burgundy accents and bring that color out. So I'm okay with where this is going. Sometimes you just have to wing it and see where the colors take you. Okay, see you back here shortly, and I will have a dried sprayed page at that time. While my page is outside drying, I just thought I'd show you how I clean off my tools. So you can wash them, but you can also just lightly rub it on. This is a bamboo cloth. If you had some kind of paper towel, that would work as well. I will take this, I will wipe this off with like a damp Kleenex, just to keep the dust on the Kleenex or tissue. And then I will take this into the sink and wash it with a little bit of soap and water. As for this, it's once I have this cleaned, I will take and simply lightly pick up and rub it off and get back to the white color. I guess you could take also your cloth itself and lightly pick it up, and that would be faster. So whichever you like. And we're back to a white, and you can see that the pink is on there. Thought you might be interested in seeing how I have cleaned up my pastels. Okay, we are back, and I have done quite a bit in the absence, and then I was filming without my mic on, so here I am, take two. Okay, so what I've done so far is the pan pastel background. I also did the metallic Neo Color 1 for the signage here. I have used the color Magenta 133 in the Pit Artist pen to do the wording on the book cafe. In order to get it shiny, I used quite a bit of pressure and a flat Q-tip type buffing tool. I did then the woodwork around all of the window casings, and I used the mega pencils for that. So I have two type of mega pencils. I used the Mega Color Ochre Light number 2, and this one is a great color. I then also brought out my skin tone set by Lyra, and they are not numbered or named, so I just have numbered them in order from lightest to darkest. So I've got a 3, which is a reddy brown, and then a 7, which is a bit darker brown for the corners. So those are the pencils I've been using, and happy with how it's turning out. Let's bring you down to see what I've started doing on the inside. On the inside, I have picked up the Caput Mortem 169 Pitt pen, and I have done that for the shelving tops and the tabletops, and I'm going to do that for this tabletop as well. And the chair here I've been working on right now, it has, so I'll zoom you down. The chair is for pencil on the chair seat itself, trying to make it more of a velour type seat or worn leather, and that's Caput Mortem Violet 263. Then I have the matching Pitt pen, and the Pitt pen is what is done on the side, so it's darker. Then for the wood on the arms, I have used the number 3, which is the Lyra skin tone, and that's this color. I have also pulled in some yellow because the light here is casting light onto the chair, and so I am using Polychromos pencils for that, and that is light chromium yellow 106. So I've put down some yellow first and then come in with the other colors and gone on top. I find if I put the yellow down first, it seems to keep that cast light there. If you have forgotten and you do it afterwards, you can certainly put yellow on top, but then I would also come back and put some more of your other color to blend it in. So this side is lighter, this side is darker because there is obviously less light hitting this area because this person is blocking some of the light. So this side of him will be a little bit darker on the chair, and there will be some light on this side. So just going through and starting that. I've also decided that I wanted the background wall to be done so that I can also get the effect of light hitting different things. So I have chosen a very light green, and so I pulled out my Color 50 colors, zoom you out, and I have done the color Y38, which is mint green, so that's this green here. It was kind of my lightest green, and I'm just going over everything very lightly. So the areas where the light is going to be shining the lightest, I'm going very light, and then in the other areas down where there's the light a little bit further away from the light, I'm doing a little bit of a heavier pressure or 2 light coats. So that's what I'm working on. So we'll continue working on some windows and some light casting for this video. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having some fun and you've grabbed your own set of pencil crayons or markers and you're doing some coloring along with me. This is a weekly time that you can hopefully relax for half an hour and just do some of your own coloring, whether it's in a festive coloring book or not. It doesn't matter to me. So just happy to have you with me as we get a little bit more accomplished in our book. In the month of November and December, I'm going to be publishing 2 videos a week, just on the festive coloring. I will still have my other video projects coming, but yeah, this is taking definitely a lot more of my time. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be working as swiftly as I am. I just need to get things done so I can have them filmed and edited. So definitely work at your own pace, not meaning to pressure anybody into doing anything more than they possibly can. And when you're done with your pictures, by all means, please send them to me, and I'd love to share them when I have more videos. Plus, in the end of December, when I do the grand reveal, I'll include everyone else's pictures that they've sent to me along the way. So here we are with the bookshelf. The bookshelf, I'm going to make the same Caput Mortem color, and I think that it's a store, so I think everything would match. Now, if it was a house, it might not all match, but I'm figuring this is a bookstore, so everything's going to be matching. So I've got the woods, and that also limits my color palette, which is also nice. So I've got the green a little bit heavier over here. It might be hard to see that. And after I've got all the colors down, if I'm noticing that, you know, something just doesn't look right, I can always adjust and add more color. It is a little bit harder to take color away. I'll finish off the background, and then I will adjust the camera. We'll be back and we'll add some light cast. Okay, the background green is done. Let me just get you zoomed in a bit. So these areas here, there will be the least amount of light. So I've gone in and done a second layer of the green so that it definitely shows that this is a darker area, and the very top of this as well. So the light is not going to be getting as far up. So starting at the very edge, I'm doing dark, like another layer. So it's just going to darken up the light green. So it's not going to make it super dark because it is still the wall color, but I'm using the wall color itself to add the shadows rather than coming in immediately with a gray or a black or anything like that. I tend not to use black. I tend to use the darker shade of the actual color, if possible, or some grays. So I will start just with the couple extra coats of the green. So that's how I'm adding a little bit of depth to the picture without even changing pencils. I plan on using gel pen over top of these snowflakes, so that's what I'm trying to get fill in all the little cracks if I can. Now, so that's this area up here, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but this whole area here is just one light coat of the green because this is where most of the light is falling. So I've got some green, obviously, on this whole window area for the background, but it's definitely, and I'm just going to put a little bit of extra green underneath the shelf. I'm not sure if you can actually even see that on camera, but and then underneath here where there's not going to be light shining, just darken that up. And I'm going to keep my pencils out because obviously we're going to have backgrounds for the other 2 windows to do, but we're going to concentrate today on this one. So I already know what the shelving color is going to be. I'll quickly do that, and that is going to be the Caput Mortem, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have decided that this bookshelf or book casing is has a solid back, so I've decided to make the background of the book casing where there won't be a lot of light, just a warm gray. So this is a soft brush Pitt pen. and is Warm Gray 3, 272. Keeping everything really lightly. There you go. And this side again is darker, so if I add another layer on the other side, I come back in here and add another layer on this side to keep the shadow balanced. And down here it's going to be less light, so a little bit darker. And a little bit darker right here. Now for the light itself, we're going to do the brightest right here, so I'm going to use 106. And then I'm just going to kind of blend that light out into the wall area. But I'm not like doing beams, I'm just kind of lightening up this whole area. And just fading it into the wall. My lightest color is the cream. So I'm just gonna come in and blend some of these colors together. And remember, I've got the green underneath. And that just softens the light diffusing outwards. Now, they're also going to have light coming upwards. If I had a paint pen, in fact, I might grab one, and I can just dab a little bit on here and then kind of rub, and that'll just lighten up some areas. I think a bronze color, and because it's a bright bronze and it's shiny, and I'm going to put that right underneath this light part here. I'm going to use the number 3 Lyra skin tone, so just the kind of the reddy brown one. And I'm going to be a little bit darker in the center. And then I'm going to bring in my darkest yellow and put that on both edges. This one is the light yellow ochre. Go over these areas. And by having a little bit of a darker center, it's making this look round as well. I'm also going to put just a little bit on the edge. Still keeping the other color here, but I think that the wood is a little bit of a warmer color. I think we're going to do a darker green for the lampshade. For the lamp, I've decided to grab my earth green. It's Polychromos 172. I really like this color, and so it's a little bit darker of a green than the walls, so it still will match, but I still will be able to put some yellow in there as well. 106, the light chromium yellow in the center, like kind of where the bulb would be inside, and then do cream on the rest of it. And then I'm going to come back in with the green, another layer, and blending that in, but keeping more of the green color to the edges. And I haven't done the back underneath because that's where the brightest yellow would be coming from, so I'm just going to leave that alone as yellow. So it definitely looks like a green lampshade, but it also looks like there's light shining through it. And yeah. Now we've got the light source going on. We still have the person to do. They obviously will have light yellow cast on this side of them. So if we don't get that done together, that's how it's going to be. Now that I have the darker green lampshade, I can come in and use this darker green as my shadow for the rest of the room. So the areas where there won't be light hitting a bunch of areas, I can just go ahead and add shadow with the earth green polychromos, and it still goes really well with the green underneath, so nothing's clashing, and then I don't have to even bring in a gray, because that already is giving a gray shadow. So before I reach for my grays and other things, I'll wait and kind of do the shading at the end, because sometimes you've added a color that you can use on your page for the shading. And it's going to be darkest just at the edge and then come down. And I can always bring back my original green to keep them nice and blended. And that also adds a bit of a warm, cozy feel to this room. So again, just along the very edge of the window ledge, and then come in, fade in. So I haven't even added cream or anything to this area, just by keeping the background really, really light. It imitates the light itself. And then this is kind of warm here, and we've got some light cast there. So yeah, I think that's looking good. There won't be a whole lot of light on this side, but like we did add a little bit of lightness on here. But the books, they can have a little bit of light cast on them, but really they're most of the light is directed towards this guy. So let's get him colored, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, I'm started to work on our person sitting here reading a book. I have used the Pit Artist Pen Light Flesh 132, and it's my old one. It's kind of a weird color, so it's kind of a yellowy. It's not the color of this. Anyways, so I did 2 coats on one side of her face, so it was a little bit darker on this side than this side, and I've also done the table, which using just the regular browns that I was using, and varying it, and then coming in with the 106, my bright yellow, and just having it on top of the very edge of just about a quarter of the table here. So the light would be hitting this edge, but really not much over here. And that's what we're going to do with that. I'm going to give this person some clothes, probably just some blues and stuff, and then we will add a few highlights to him to show some cast shadows, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, so I've given this person a light cream colored shirt that's going to go underneath their vest, and I'm just now giving them some blue colored pants. And I must admit, I am not proficient at fabric, so I'm going to try to do darker and then fade up and see how that looks. And then when I want to shade, I'm going to, or blend, I'm going to use the cream to blend on the one side. So the cream is my lightest yellow. So very light on the edges, and then darker where there would be naturally more shadow. I think coloring fabric is something that I would like to get better at. If you know of anybody who does good tutorials on coloring fabric, leave me some suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to learn from somebody else. And I think I have enough pigment down, and I don't want to keep adding more pigment, and I'm happy with the shading and stuff. Then I'll use the Caran d'Ache blender to smooth that out if it needs it, or sometimes a worn look with a little bit of the white specks showing through the paper is actually helps with the whole thing. So I'll leave it there. For his vest, or I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman there, let me grab another color. I'm gonna give him a hunter green vest. Not sure why, I just think it goes with the color scheme. I didn't use a color palette this time, so I am going to use the earth green, which I used on the lampshade, as the lighter color to do some blending with. But the color I selected is Juniper Green 165, and I'm combining it with the Earth Green 172. And then I'm going to use the Earth Green Pitt pen and do the ribbing on his sweater. If I want to bring a little bit of the light in, I can bring a little bit of the bright and just put a little bit on the one side, and maybe a little bit of the cream a little bit further. And again, you want to keep your one side a little bit darker, and then that just helps with the whole eye illusion that there's light casting down, if this is a little bit lighter than this side. Now that I have the rest of the person colored, I can come back in and just add a few more shadows if I need it, or a bit more coloring. But I think for the most part, this person is looking okay. So I have gone and taken a couple of dual hybrid metallic gel pens and done some of the snowflakes just to bring in a little bit of color. I always test them out, but I still keep forgetting that these dual metallics, while you put them on, they are one color, but as they dry, they shift to the other color. So yeah, when you scribble them down on a paper, it looks one color, but you really need to wait till they're fully dry to actually know what color it's going to be. Okay, just to talk a little bit about how I finished off the hair. I used a Pitt Artist pen, Raw Umber 180, and I also used the dark Naples ochre. And first I put down some pencil crayon so that the Pitt Artist pen wouldn't soak right into the paper right away, and I was able to put the Pitt pen down and then kind of smear it up a little bit into the penciled area so that we have a highlight of the hair, so it looks like the light is casting down and leaving a shadow on the hair. I'm also going to take and do a little bit of glossy accents on the eyeglasses just so that they appear shiny. Then we may move on to some of the outside of the building. There we go. So as that's drying, I'll gather up a few items for the outside of the building and just zoom it out a bit. That's this area right here. Okay, we'll do one of these together, and then I'll leave you today to carry on your own book, and I will carry on with mine. Okay, I have pulled out 3 different Pitt pens. So I plan on using permanent green olive, earth green, and chromium green opaque. I also pulled out my sage colored Spectrum Noir sparkle pen because it has a nice brush tip that I can flick some nice little fronds or edges for. And I've also pulled out my Signo metallic green, and then a Jelly Roll light and a Jelly Roll dark green metallic, just to do some sprigs. So what I envision is kind of from, like I showed you on day 6, this kind of garland. And so I photocopied this page just to kind of test it out to see how I would do, and I think I'm going to go for it. I think I am going to leave the large flowers, and I'm going to do those in a metallic burgundy color and Jelly Roll. So I will do that, but I'm going to do the accents afterwards. So I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to start with my lightest green, just so I can kind of get a flow going. So wish me luck. I want it to kind of come and go down this way, so I think I'm just gonna start placing some, and it's gonna drape down, so it's gonna look like a hot mess to begin with. Okay, so that's that side, and I'm just mimicking pine garland. Come in with the next green, and I don't need to, can make these a little bit more sparse. Can make some smaller, some bigger, as long as they're going in the correct direction that I'm envisioning this to go. Yes, it does look like a hot mess, but it does get better. I started with the lighter green so that I could kind of get the shape, and then I'll keep coming in with darker greens, and then at the end we'll come in with some of the metallic. And if there's any items still showing from underneath, we can always color those items in and accent them. I come in now with the, now this is a finer one, so I'm just going to do around the edges. So it's going to make it look a little fluffier. I'm going to come in with the gel pens because I've got enough base down, I think, and we'll just see. And I'm going to be a little bit more sparse with the gel pen, and I'm going to keep it more in the center. And then if you move the page a little bit, you can kind of see that. I always get the gel pen going on another piece of paper, and then I come in, and this one I'm just gonna add a little here and there, and this is the brightest one, so I might just do a few dots on this one just to kind of add some different colors of green. Make it a bit more interesting. Now we're ready for the purple flower. And this color is almost the same color as the back wall. So once this is dry, I may come in and use a gold gel pen and put a few little dots, or a black jelly roll and put a few dots. But yeah, so that is what the garland is going to end up looking like. I'll zoom you out so that you can see both sides. Okay, here is what both sides look like. This is what the top is looking like. I have done the windows and I still have the books to do. I did a little bit of gel pen on the spines of the books, so I'm just waiting for that gel pen to dry. And I'm really happy with how this is shaping up. I do like that I didn't have to do all of these little intricate items on the page. It's great if you want to do that. I just thought that I really liked how the bushy garland looks, and I like that there's a little bit of reflectiveness in there. So I am going to do that. Definitely on this side. We'll see about the top, and definitely do it around here area as well. There's just so much right here. That's a lot. So yeah, I probably will end up doing that style of garland around the rest of the windows. This is how the door is looking. I used cream and the light mint green and then some earth green for shading as well. And so yeah, I think that that really looks good. It looks like there is definitely the store is open and there's light coming out the window without having to do a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, happy how this page is coming out. Happy how the light is showing up in these windows. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun today. Next week's is going to be the Poodle Parlor. That is week 11, so that looks darling. We'll have to investigate how to color all of those little doggies. So that's a problem for next week. I will continue on in this page on my own, and I look forward to seeing some of your completed pages. Again, send them to jicolourist@gmail.com. And again, I hope you have a creative and colorful week, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.